Hey everybody, on today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, Lostbelt 5 Part 2 finally launched in Japan, and also, to much less fanfare, I guess it's the Go West rerun? Hi, I'm one of your hosts, Omega. I will be your humble prose poet today. And hey, is that Lucky? He's got a gun! Blam, blam, blam.
I hope everyone is enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka A Fistful of Lightning. And while we here at Studio Mega like to bring you the latest in FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events for both the JP and EM version of the game, so anyone not wanting spoilers should go west. Unless Apple tells you to stay put for a while.
Yeah, Apple doing that shelter in place, except not really, because we're already sheltered in place.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, hi, hello, it's Let's Talk FGO. We're going to talk about stuff today. I'm going to adjust my mic slightly, a little closer to my face. Now that I'm not yelling, I sound a little soft. But now is the time for me to remind you that this episode is brought to you by our patrons like Agio Comics, Blacklist OG, Qua, Jeremy Vasquez, Kylie Tenton, Nestor Flores, Rogue Robin, Shawnee P, SodaSun0424, and Video Gamer 75. And if you like what we do and want to see us do more, you should consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early and lots of very goodies, and it really helps us out. Thank you for your support.
Thank you. Sorry, Vesper just posted a Warframe gif, and I'm just all like, ugh, that's sparkly.
Well, not just. That was like 10 minutes ago, but yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I'm glad I managed to get through that without coughing or having to clear my throat. I've been very sleepy, as in literally sleeping a lot lately, so I'm still a little not alive yet. So you probably will hear Omega clear his throat a couple of times throughout the show.
Yep.
But okay, I guess we're gonna go ahead and jump into it. Let's see,
Woo.
What do we got? Let's just get the ball rolling. Let's just go ahead and check in with everybody's favorite Kohai. Now with a gun!
Senpai! 起きてください.
That's right, everybody. It's time to wake the fuck up, Senpai, or else. Our regular segment for pro tips. No, the mash gun jokes are not going away. That's now an emote in our server. But, hey. Guess where I got this pro tip from? Make sure to level all your servants. And, especially if you're doing some weird challenge run level stuff, level all your FTP alternates. Like, hey, if you're like, no, I will never use a Merlin, make sure you maybe think about grilling that Hans, kids. Cause, the word on the street is that Lostbelt 5 Part 2 Olympus is kinda hard.
Oh.
And the game is not necessarily there for you to cruise control, but, like, here's the thing about support units, is they actually usually do a lot of work and help make your comps work, so, consider them. Also, this includes skills. If you use a servant frequently, try for a minimum of 666 so you can get that sweet cooldown reduction. Because obviously we, as the professional filthy casuals, understand that maybe 10-10-10 is kind of a lot of work.
I'm dropping everything! Fuck!
And it's a limited resource. But yeah, that's just our general summary there, which is like, hey, watch the fuck out, kids. Also, heads up, everybody, the banner is over, so Avicebron should be in the FP Gacha right now.
Woo!
I have been doing a little bit of rolling for him, but not a lot. I did get a copy of the event CE somehow, but whatever. But yeah, that said, this isn't in my notes, but I'll throw this in as a little bonus pro tip. Actually pay attention to some of those new 1 and 2 star CEs. Some of them have some fun effects, which might be useful for, like, not just for the low cost, but also for challenges and stuff. Like, one of them increases your buff success rate by, I think it's 5%, and then, I don't know what it is, max limit break. And then another one, it's opposite, increases your debuff success rate by, like, 3 to 5% or something. Things that increase your buff success rate are very rare, so that's a pretty, even if it's a small chance, that's a pretty niche ability you might want to look into. They've got some other stuff like increase your percentages, increase your star weight by like 50%, which isn't a lot, but might help, you know, if you're building a star-heavy comp. Like, just, they're low cost, and some of them might have effects that are actually good for challenges and stuff. I think Starvation is a 2-star, but that increases your NP gain on hit by a lot, like 20%, which means it goes very well with Avengers, who have that passive anyway.
Yeah, so basically, as it is, the new 1 and 2 star CEs aren't, like groundbreaking, but they're way more useful and can actually probably fit into some interesting setups.
Yes,
basically.
They have a lot of abilities you don't necessarily see a lot of places. Although some of them are still pretty basic. Like one of them is just get like 30 to 50 damage plus, But that can be helpful for challenges. Was that Summer 1 Rerun challenge quest the crabs that had like 90% damage reduction?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Oh wow.
What's up?
Oh no, I'm gathering assets for the thumbnail, and of course I'm gonna put Caenis on there, just a fucking course. And I'm looking at her ascensions. I'm just like, oh,
She's shiny.
she's shiny.
Also very mad, very angry. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
Because yes, we are going to talk.
Oh, I'm sorry. Remember, Lucky is eternally lewd and goes that way, and so when I see the skill named Sea God's Esset, I'm just like,
Ow. Well,
ow.
her third skill is Affection of the Sea God, which is like, I'll go ahead and drop this on you. I was having this discussion in spoiler chat, and we were talking about the legend of Caenis, where Caenis is... I'm actually a little shocked. I'll spoil it now. Caenis does not have an anti-centaur skill, despite the fact that that is the thing Caenis is probably most known for, is bodying a bunch of centaur wedding crashers, which included an incident where one guy tried to stab Caenis and did not succeed, or possibly it's supposed to be like C, but I don't know. I'm used to Latin with the hard CK sound. Anyway, we'll probably continue to say Caenis just because we're us. But
hi, we're Studio Mega. We do not word good.
How do I English goo? But basically traded blows with a centaur and took being stabbed in the face, didn't break because Caenis had impenetrable skin. Thanks, Poseidon. And I just realized I was like, wait, is this just an elaborate ancient Greek pun that Caenis became impenetrable?
Oh. Well, like, you gotta remember, a lot of people think, ancient mythology is all this, like, dire and shit. No, there's a lot of sex and penis jokes and stories.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I would not put it past those guys. We're gonna talk about some things later. But that's our, pro tips. Let's really quickly neum through, Records from the Throne. There was another caster daily, and I finally protected Stacy's smile. She's actually all the way up to level 90.
Yeah! Mine's not quite as impressive, but I'm still proud of myself. I got Billy to max level. My goal was to actually try to get all the Lostbelt 1 servants that I had up, but I wasn't able to get to finish Salieri and Beowulf, so I'm like, yeah.
No, my Salieri doesn't have a lot of levels. I need to... I don't know, I'll buy some shit from the store.
Right now I'm working on Neza, though. And those chicken thighs.
Because he is a bonus servant. Actually, that's a good question. Is Nessa genderless? Mechanically? I don't think so. I think we're going for a literally... We may mention that later, but there's 2 new servants on this banner for the old Olympus Lostbelt, both of which in their profile, their gender is marked as null, so I think mechanically that means they count.
Huh.
So that'll be really interesting to see how that works. But anyway, let us really quickly check in and ask everybody, did you finish your master missions? I haven't actually yet. Hopefully there's some mobs in the event. But you need to do 30 FP summons, no big deal. I didn't do this one already because I was waiting for Avicebron, so I did it earlier. So, hey, try it. You need to defeat 15 dragon enemies, 15 wild beast enemies, defeat 30 enemies total, not counting servants and whatevers. And I found these last two, at least one of them, a little personally insulting. Because this was obviously while Lostbelt 1 was still fresh. Complete quests with a caster in your party 5 times, and complete quests with a berserker in your party 5 times. And I was just like, I see what you did there, Master Missions. But yeah, okay. Let's see, how far are we in? We're 10 minutes in.
Oh, what is this? See, it's adorable. It's probably a spoiler. Oh, it is. It's locked until you complete Olympus.
Ooh, yep, no, that's the new one.
Yep.
Honestly, it's a little weird. I don't think it reveals much just by its picture, but also maybe.
Well, see, like I said, like we're gonna know. There was a CM, and as is the way, people pick that shit apart.
Oh yeah, no, we'll talk about the CM in a little bit because we're about to do Skelegrams, or we could talk about it right now. But it is my first bullet point, so I'll just roll back, briefly mention Olympus Lostbelt release. That's Lostbelt 5 Part 2. The release event is happening from 4/9 to 4/23, and after a stream, it was a little bit of delay, and it had a sick new CM, in which there were many, many things in it. Many things. First of all, there was a lot of Caenis in it.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of giant robots in it. A lot of giant robots. Also a lot of cityscapes being destroyed by giant robots, so I'm wondering if we're maybe doing a theme here. But a lot of servants showed up in it, possibly revealing themselves, and also they showed off that Mash gets a gun.
Yeah.
A huge gun, BT dubs.
Huge gun.
But yeah, so a lot of people were picked that apart, and like, some CMs are more revealing than others. Like, I think you see a lot of the people who are involved in Lostbelt 2 when the Lostbelt 2 CM drops, but it's not super revealing, right?
Oh yeah, there's definitely some like mysterious people in there.
Like, same with Lostbelt
theories.
1, right? Like, Salieri appeared and it was like, who the fuck's this guy? Who's this Persona 5 looking motherfucker? Because that was 2 years ago.
How on point that we have Royal right now.
Yeah, it's time and space works out funnily enough. But, there is a lot of things revealed, but also not a lot of things revealed. I feel like the Lostbelt 5 Part 2 CM was very much just, hey, if you already know what's going on, here's everything that's going on. It does launch with 2 new materials, thanks game. You've got Fruits of Longevity and Divine Spirit Veins. I don't know why they're called that, they're spherical. Maybe it'll have a different translation in English. Sorry, I was distracted by somebody saying something in the general LTFGO, which I think is wrong, but I won't bother right now because I gotta do stuff. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there, and it looked pretty cool.
Wow, Grand Order Wiki, you are way behind.
Yes, they are. I think they've just stopped updating Japan stuff, which is a shame. Because they're still on point for like reruns and stuff. It's just,
oh yeah,
I don't think anybody is updating the Japan facing stuff anymore, which is kind of a pain in the butt for us with clairvoyance.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to the FGO wiki I go to doesn't have the image for rhythmic verse, and I was all like, but I need that, so I cry.
But yes.
Yes.
So, the summon banner is SSR Saber Dioscuri, aka the Gemini Twins, if you can't spell Dioscuri. And SR Lancer Caenis, with new CEs. Still have a little bit of an Apocrypha bend, but we got we finally acknowledged some other properties in the CEs. And, Caenis will be story-locked to Olympus after the banner, thanks to Lightworks.
Well, we can't complain too much. I said they do just give us our first permanent single-target Saber.
Mm-hmm. Who is both a lady and a dude. So we're gonna get to the nebulous kind of sort of discussing it zone. And I will say that general impressions of the Lostbelt from our community are positive, but very difficult. There's a lot of major stuff happening in this section, and in general, a lot of our fan base who are complete and other mad lads and have already finished it have basically said that it's kind of the difficulty-wise, it's kind of the Camelot of the Lostbelts.
Oh, jeez.
It's got a lot of boss fights with special gimmicks and rules, and some of them come very fast. Like, you can get, like, 2 or 3 sections in, and they're like, major boss fight. Boom. Oh, yeah. Zero Ren was in chat right now.
Oh, okay. The Game Press had it, so I'm gonna just steal it from you fucks. Give.
So, yes, it's complex, difficult, but seems like it's going to be really, really cool to see. So we'll get out there in a couple of years. I'll circle back to my sub bullet point there. I wrote in here a word from Omega about spoilers and assumptions. So I do want to say this before we get into it. We're not really going to go whole hog on the spoilers, and please don't listen to Albert. Don't be an asshole in the comments and stuff, right? Like, we have a perfectly viable spoiler venue in our Discord community. Go there. Mm-hmm. It works perfectly. People can go there, they can talk about new stuff. We've talked a lot about new stuff, me and some of the community guys, including mods and just general community members. So don't be up in the comments spoiling stuff. You'll make Lucky cry. Don't make Lucky cry.
Lucky cries, things die.
Though I will say in general, I'm not necessarily what's the right way to phrase it? Other people are not necessarily taking the same precautions that we are as a channel. Some people are just blabbing about stuff on Twitter, which is kind of not great. Kind of not great, guys, to just throw that out there. If you're in English Twitter and you just throw JP shit out there with images and stuff, careful about that. And some of the big like FGO gameplay YouTube channels are like have some very provocative titles which are totally spoilers for their videos. So everybody watch the fuck out in your YouTube recommendations for the next couple of months, I guess. I don't know. And I say that's kind of a sketchy thing because on the one hand I understand obviously the clickbait appeal, We are unrepentant shills down here. But also, that's not something that you can control how people access, right? Like, It's not just your subs who see it, but the YouTube algorithm might just pass it out to somebody. I don't know. I feel like because there's a lot of big hype here, a lot of people are not being as careful as maybe they should be with the spoilers.
Oh, yeah, I've had, like, some minor spoilers and things, but, like, people will just blab or whatever they want, whether they're happy with something, whether they're unhappy with something, and not...
Oh, you have also seen some of those. That was going to be my second part of that bullet point.
Yeah. Because I saw, like, because here's the thing, there's a difference between spouting what you think is happening, maybe necessarily, and, just saying, no, this is who it is, and whatnot, because I saw, like, just after, like, the CM came down, I saw a couple, theories come on. I'm like, about, like, who, like, maybe some of the mystery people ear, what's up with Mash's gun, and stuff, and I was just like, oh, that's interesting, could be fun, could be interesting. And then later, I see someone else completely just, like, drop the ball on. I was like, oh, so that's what it is. And granted, I don't know the situation around,
yeah, I'm not going to mention the name of Mash's. She does get a new skill. Her first skill gets upgraded. Yep. It does a pretty cool thing now. It adds 3 turns of gives her the ability to ignore defensive buffs. But the name is totally if you know Nasuverse stuff, the name is totally a spoiler. Like, it's not subtle. I was a little shocked, actually, when I read it. I'm like, ooh, well, okay. I don't think I want to say that out loud. But yeah, and some people are just throwing shit out there. So that's one thing I want to be conscious about. And the other thing is, so like you mentioned, it is some people are already being very vocal in their opinions about Lostbelt 5 Part 2. Some of it in a negative way. I have both seen this myself and heard other people mention it to me in our community. And considering it's only been out about, 2 days? 2 days, I think?
Yeah.
If you're out there and you're yelling about Lostbelt 5 Part 2 right now, Omega is telling you he would like you to politely take a deep breath and sit the fuck down for a second, okay, guys? And I mean this in a polite way. Lucky enough, I said this before. You are totally entitled to your opinions. Your opinions are valid. They are your opinions, right?
Yes.
But, big but there, we are not contractually obligated to put up with your opinions either. So, keep that in mind. And just wind your neck in for a second, okay? Because I'm going to cycle back around to my sub-point. Some people, by the way, have complained that Lostbelt 5 Part 2 is too long. I could see that. It's 28 sections, BT dubs. Some of which are story only. However, the kicker here is that means that if it was released as one singular release all at once, Lostbelt 5 would be 54 sections long.
This is a big boy.
This is a lot of text. And it's been out 2 days. 2 days-ish. Longer, obviously, by the time a lot of you are listening to this, but still. So, just be careful. Make sure you're getting your stuff from your right sources, because I have already seen multiple times what I consider the FGO fandom classic move, which is, oh hey, X appears! Oh my gosh, I can't believe X did this! X didn't actually do that. Like, I have seen multiple versions of that exchange already. And I don't know whether it's people being assholes or people are just speed reading and they misconstrue something. Maybe they only half speak Japanese, so they don't understand all the characters. It's like, there's definitely trolling and stuff, but also there is just people have no idea what's going on and are just saying what they think. So calm down a little and just relax. Make sure you're getting your translations from sources. Let your translating sources that you trust actually work on this, because like I said, that's a lot of text, okay? That means they have to do a lot of summarizing, which summarizing is a skill. I've had to do it before for school and stuff. It takes a little bit of art to do it, and it can take some time for you to really digest the material and summarize it. So, I would like people, especially in our community, we've been mostly nice, but just in general, if you're listening to this, relax a little bit. Roll it back. Give it a little time to percolate. Calm down. Because some of the things that's been happening is that some people have been critical of certain things, which may or may not be happening. Story stuff, obviously, you should, again, be careful about what you believe, unless you literally read Japanese pretty good. And I would say pretty good because my understanding is that a lot of the Nasuverse type stuff gets a little esoteric with how they use the language. Some people have commented about character stuff. which we're not going to dig into too much because I expect that at least one of those characters they are talking and or complaining about will be on a banner next week. So that's something I can't hide from Lucky if they make a big banner image. So we'll discuss a character maybe then. But some people have also been doing some complaining about some designs of some characters. Hey, it's called Olympus. It's not really a spoiler. There are some Olympian deities in it. But I'll give an example. So, one of them is Aphrodite. And many people apparently are complaining that in her story sprite, she has a cigarette. Gasp. Okay, first off, I'm not saying this is your argument. I'm not trying to strawman you. But if this is your argument that you're just like, no, my goddess of beauty and love, she cannot do something as gross as smoke. You're wrong. You're wrong, and here's why. Aphrodite, like most if not all Olympian gods, is a garbage person, and she would totally do that. This is another thing that's weird to me. Like I grew up in all the don't smoking stuff, right? Like smoking is terrible. It's illegal most places publicly. I do also, though, remember when you could get on a plane and they would ask you smoking or non-smoking, or as a small child passing by smoking lounges in certain airports, which I think they still do some places.
Mm-hmm.
Or when you sit at a restaurant smoking or non-smoking, right?
Yeah. Like,
I grew up in that time period, so to me, smoking isn't weird. I wouldn't do it for a lot of reasons. The first and foremost being that cigarette smoke has always immediately, agitated my allergies or whatever. But also, I do know, hey, I bet if you hop on Pornhub and do a search right now, you'll find a lot of videos of people smoking during and after sex, because that's also a meme.
Yeah.
So, but here's the follow-up thing. The reason why I say that you should also be careful about doing drive-by critiques of art when you don't understand the context of a character design. I'm not going to talk about the specifics, but I have been informed by multiple sources that the reason why Aphrodite smokes in FGO is that another character in the FGO story introduced it to her, which, guess what? You can't pick that up from looking at a sprite sheet that somebody has data mined.
Okay, so I'm just gonna take shit. Are we getting into notes?
Not directly.
Not directly.
No,
okay,
but we have definitely touched on some notes like themes and some other general, without talking about it too much, Lostbelt 5 Olympus reminds you that as much as Nasi writes urban fantasy, he also really likes sci-fi, I guess. Like, there's a lot of weird alien sci-fi themes in it. Like, just look how technologically advanced the civilization it is, despite the fact that it's the ancient Greek gods, ? And again, a lot of this is just, I don't even know the details myself, too.
Yeah.
But a character in story introduced Aphrodite to smoking, and you'd never know that if you just, again, look at a data mine sprite sheet, right? So, just calm down a little, okay? Don't make your opinions until you're fully informed. Also, I'm 99% sure Aphrodite is drawn by our martyred lady of horniness, Wadarko. So I'm not going to take any shots. That's very on brand for Aphrodite.
Well, I just asked because, as I said, one of the theories I had is, the character and the gun. So I'm just like,
yeah, we'll see maybe.
We'll see. Lucky's doing some intense eye narrowing.
Also, I bet when Fate Grand Materials 2020 is released in the year 2025, there will be an Aphrodite art section where Wadarko will have a scribbled note about not wearing a bra was a must, because she's not. She's very much not. There's a lot of really interesting character designs for the Olympians and stuff, and some people are taking some shots. Like, I think some people have said that Zeus looks just like a pale Herc, and I'm just like, he's his dad! What the fuck do you want? Like, I did a lot of hand gesturing just then. Also, I gotta be honest, none of y'all should... From what I understand of the Fate fandom, none of y'all should be going to bat for Aphrodite. Allow me to make you hate Aphrodite by bringing up several key characters. It's her fault Medea's so fucked up, and you love Medea, so therefore you must hate Aphrodite. This is how fate works. She's the reason why Atalante had to marry a guy and got turned into a cat. I don't know if you guys are mad about that or not, but I bet Atalante was, so.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna go ahead and say it's about 50-50 her fault on the whole Trojan War deal. Like, I'm not gonna give Paris a free pass. She offered, but he accepted, but yeah, that's how she got the golden apple, and she was like, dude, if you call me the prettiest, I'll let you bang the hottest chick in the cosmos. And he was like, okay. And then the Trojan War happened.
Mhm.
And also, as a result, the Odyssey happened. And then lots of other stuff. Also, I gotta be honest, Aphrodite's real, not just kind of skeezy in her mythology, but taking into context the way stuff works in Fate, she's also real rapey. A lot of date rape stuff. Is it true love if you have to mind control bang? I don't know. It's weird. She's weird. I don't like her. But yeah, that was basically just my comment about, like, generally I think our community's been pretty positive on it and hadn't had any major issues, especially as actual details filter in. But there have been some outside circles I have seen being a little loud and jammery. But yeah, I think that's that.
Well, as always, Lucky will just have to reserve judgment until it's actually here.
Yes, in the year 2022.
Jeez.
But it sounds like it's gonna be a fun ride. So I've been talking a lot. Lucky, why don't you tell us about the Journey to the West rerun?
Alright, so happening right now, April 10th to April 20th, we have our Journey to the West rerun. It's a light rerun, hopefully with some quality assurance to make it run faster, but it's still a little bit bullshit. The bonus servant list is now Mordred, Arjuna, David, Urale, Karna, Lancer Alter, Li Shuwen, Nezha, Medusa, Zanzo, Waver, Yanqing, Little Wu, Steno, Shinkai, Nightingale, and Lubu. Now, most people seem to be wanting to take this one a bit easy, but there is some new stuff in the shop, like Gunpowder. So, keep an eye on your time and play as you like. Oh, excuse me. The Summer Banner is a rotation between Sanzo and Waver, with Nezha, Li, Yanqing, Wu, David, Jiangqi, and Lubu on rate up all the time. Includes a new CQ, this one versus Nezha. And to celebrate, Apple gave us extended maintenance.
Yeah, this was apparently, a lot of people were thinking this would happen because JP got blasted with the extended maintenance just a couple days ago also. So, yeah, they gave us a present. 2 gold apples.
Yep, and that's done.
Lucky has posted a thumbnail. I will save that real quick. But, yeah, I'm not really into the event so far.
I haven't even opened it up yet. I'm farming embers right now.
I almost feel like, well, I guess they would, there's embers in the store, so it's kind of 6 of this, half a dozen the other, but.
Yeah, but I can auto farm embers and the mines so much easier.
True. Oh, actually, those, because that 3-turn setups, that reminds me, one thing that's about the reason why Olympus is a little bit more difficult is that it's impossible to 3-turn, nerds, because some enemies have 4 HP bars. Many enemies, in fact.
Wow. That's kind of what... The Lightworker was all like, oh, you think you guys are so clever? How about now?
Yeah, I've seen some interesting discussion in our community that, like, story is like where the real gameplay happens, right? Like, there are still events with challenges because, like, you can get, like, challenge quests and stuff, but generally farming is such an autopilot efficiency battle that, like, story bosses tend to have a lot of those weird gimmicks and things.
Well, the way I like to see it is, of course, like, your main stories are, like, your big, your, what the words I want to use is your, big set pieces, and all the events between them are just basically your training montages as you prepare. You get a bunch of mats, you level up a bunch of servants, you get new servants, you level them up, and, and usually that's how events work. They usually give you a bunch of materials, a bunch of QP, like, all this stuff, because in actual story events, you get barely anything, honestly. There's no CEs, there's no servants, there's, like, very few mat drops, monies a little bit. The best thing you usually get is bond.
Yeah, well, they do improve that. Eventually there is a retroactive system where you get materials with every main quest in the future. Yeah. So, when that activates, expect us to get a shitload of materials in the mail.
Yeah!
But still, that's only just, that just means that, combined with scripted drops, you usually get enough of the new shit that you aren't overly burdened if you roll new servants, Yeah. But I think somebody put it another good way about the difference is that with events, like right now, you have to do a lot of grinding. I'm going to have to punch this 20 AP a lot until I can do the thing with the talismans to unlock better ones, which is a little bullshit. But in story, well, sometimes there are multiple phases, like we had to fight a couple of Ivans, right? but only a couple of those were serious. So, in story, you usually only face a boss, like, one singular time with all their gimmicks and have to work with that.
Golem punch!
So, excuse me, there's definitely, I think, a lot of, like... There's a difference in how they execute, so maybe too many people are just used to their autopilot meme gameplay. Olympus sounds like it's really not meant to be autopiloted.
Yeah.
Which is okay. I mean, I had a lot of fun with a lot of the fights in Lostbelt 1. And we'll see in Lostbelt 2, because we only have to wait until June.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be a pretty cramped June. But,
yeah.
Still, it'll be super fun. Also, fun fact, Lostbelts 2 and 3 are actually pretty short comparatively. There are, I think 16 and 17 sections. So, that's interesting. I can see how they managed to get 3 Lostbelts out in 1 year.
Yeah. I guess once we hit 4 and 5, they're all alright, everyone strap in, we're going for the long ones. Yeah, again, not to spoil it, but there's a, you know how Nasu loves their setup, and the Tight Moon team loves foreshadowing and setup and stuff. There's a shitload of that in Lostbelt 5 Part 2. They're chucking out stuff that's not resolved left and right, and I'm just well, I guess you do have to advertise the fact that you do in fact have 2 more Lostbelts, because from what I understand, if you've beat the Lostbelt, it'll say for sure, but they've made it pretty apparent that 6 is in fact actually happening. Despite the fact that David complained for 5.5 Lostbelts that it was going to fuck up and die, it did not fuck up and die before we're going to get to punch it, so... Actually, let me check. Have they revealed any... Usually they reveal a little bit more about the details of the names when the last one is out. Nope, it's still all question marks. I guess we'll find out later this year, probably. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So, not so much really news, but something interesting. So, Aniplex US has started to finally release their Lostbelt Servant trailers. Back, everyone should remember these back a couple years ago. They actually aired on television. And it's just basically the Lostbelt Servants giving a little bit of a blurb. They've only released Saber and Rider so far. But we'll probably see the rest of them come out, fairly soon.
Yeah, I think I said next couple of weeks, probably.
Yeah. And it's gonna be good. As I said, I think we actually know who everyone is now.
I do believe all of them have appeared now by Lostbelt 5.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder, does that mean at, Anniversary they're gonna release a new one, or just... Who knows what they're gonna do? I never know what FGO is doing anymore, I gotta be honest.
Let's see here. They're definitely not gonna have a new Lostbelt announced by Anniversary.
Oh, gosh, no.
But, I don't know, so
they will hopefully have one more this year, I hope. But, well, honestly, and writing is something you can do at home. So,
yeah.
That particular problem, what is it Game Grumps is calling it? Right, in some of their episodes they're talking about how, at the time they recorded them, you couldn't talk about COVID on YouTube, otherwise they would demonetize you. Now they're a little less antsy on it. Mm-hmm. But they were calling it the Backstreet Boys Reunion Tour as their code word. But hopefully that will not interrupt necessarily a lot of production, but that could, depending on what their workflow is, that could interrupt programming, etc. QA.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking though of story stuff, some leaks were wrong, some leaks were right. I think it was the most recent one that was the closest. That was probably somebody who leaked beta testing stuff, quality assurance and stuff. But some of them were just completely fucking wrong. Also, I gotta be honest, everybody for the past literally 2.5 years since they showed a trailer of her and since Lostbelt 1 hit, everybody has been saying, I think, that Caenis is an SR Lancer. I don't know why, but they were.
Yeah. I can see it. I think, even me, I was all yeah, I see it. I felt it.
But, hey, at least that's, well, technically the Dioscuri are one of Wodaime's servants, because he's a cheater who cheats and has 3. So they did another bamboozle on us. The Gemini twins are permanent. Caenis is a story lock. They did both.
So clearly this means in a couple years, you're going to have MP2 twins and no Caenis.
Probably. Hopefully they do another ticket soon. Another ticket this year. Just put it later this year and don't tie it to an anime where they give me it at a weird time in English.
Oh, who knows? Anniversary might be a good time.
Yeah, they'll do Solomon.
Oof.
Then that'll be like, but we're gonna then I'll get it. Well, I don't know. Depending on when it comes out, then a Solomon ticket could be in time for me for have Lostbelt 3 since they've shenanigans some of those. Actually, they probably won't for us because we're already getting an SR ticket later this year with one of the million downloads. Which BG Dubs is just before Lostbelt 3 happens. Thanks a lot to Lightworks.
Oof.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I don't know. I'll probably use my ticket then probably for Valkyrie if I haven't rolled them. Probably.
I don't know. I have to check my story locks.
I mean, I think for story locks, I just don't have Edison. I don't have Li Xuan, I think.
Apologies to Edison. He is never going to be a free ticket for me. It'd probably be Gawain or Tristan. Those are my 2 story locks I'm currently on.
Oh, and Yan King. I don't have a Yan King either. I always forget about him.
Is Yan King story locked?
I think so.
Fuck me. I think I have 2 of that dude. He kept ambushing me while I was trying to get Old Man.
Oh, he's not story locked?
No, he's permanent, though. Nice.
Damn, well, then
he's very not, trust me. Yes, of course.
Okay, well, then I'm just have horrible luck. I haven't pulled one yet. That's weird.
And there's a lot of stuff in the banner. I was rolling on the FP gacha. I did not get any new copies of Avicebron, but boy, I got a lot of 3-star CEs, including one of the event ones, and I was just like, wow, weird. What am I doing? I'm gonna do story versus archer. Is it archer or is it saber? It's saber. I'm dumb. Anyway, I'll put this aside because I have to talk now. Well, I don't necessarily have to talk, but I'll briefly mention it. Matt's FGO material 8 will be coming out 5/2. I don't know who it's going to cover, but this is into Lostbelts, so I think that'll be Lostbelt 2 on? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure. I have to check where 7 actually ends.
I'm going to go slap some dogs here. I'll be right back.
Alright, let's take a quick break then. I gotta get up and walk around.
Oh, I don't have a Li Xuan and Thomas, and I don't have a Rider of Resistance.
Most people don't have Rider of Resistance. Does he even... I think it's because he doesn't even get a rate up in his banner. By the way, audience, we're back. We took our little intermission, but you started talking about story lock stuff, so I was like, oh shit, I gotta unpause.
Ah!
Yeah. Shoot. Let me actually...
Oh, Valkyrie's not a story lock?
No,
Weird.
she's permanent. Permanent Lancer. Because Lucky, they have to give you a permanent 4-star Lancer on every Bryn rate up. It's a law. You're gonna get so many little sisters rolling for that big sister Valkyrie.
Well, I already got a big sister Valkyrie, so I'll be
okay.
Yeah,
so, Rider of Resistance, aka Columbus, literally did not get a banner when his EOR came out. It is only on the special campaign for the anniversary, and then on a couple of upcoming... Oh, no, they've already passed. On a couple of class-based campaigns, which have passed. He's been added. So he's super ultra mega rare. He will continue to languish in hell with Caster Gills for me. I still don't have a Caster Gills, and I don't care. I have a Vicebron now. Somehow I have an NP4 Caster Coup, so... the trials and tribulations of a guy, rolling since the beginning.
I must have got real fortunate because when I played this game, I did some story rolls and I did get Gills. So.
Oh heck, fuck! When you start, you have nothing better to roll on. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks before that celebratory Gilgamesh limited banner came out.
Yeah.
And the game does give you a lot of SQ to start. So, but yeah, so we were in Matt's. I guess we're speaking of rolling. Let's move into free talk. We've only been going under 45 minutes, so it's...
Oh, no!
Guess what, guys? It's finally time to so you didn't get that 5-star AAA edition. Now that the Anastasia banner is over. But let's go ahead and run down really quick. First, let's talk about the angriest of cats, Atalante Alter. So she has fairly high attack and HP for her category with high NP gain to offset the fact that she's QQABB with median hit counts. Her NP is a single target quick, which curses and NP seals the enemy. That can be very handy. Her first skill, Self-Evolution, gives her an infusion of stars and boosts her absorption. That's pretty critical for any berserker who wants to do that. I did a wordplay. Second skill is the same Beyond Arcadia A that her Archer version has if you did her rank up, so it's just Team Green Mana Burst. And her final skill is a 1-turn evade and 30 to 50% critical damage for 3 turns. That's pretty good that the buff lasts 3 turns,
Mm-hmm.
So you can evade on a critical turn, which is very important. I used a lot of Nyalter story support, and if you're not careful, she will fold like a cat with a spray bottle.
Oh, God.
Like, just spritz her crossways, and she just goes, falls over.
That's true.
So, yeah, that evade is definitely handy, but so is 30 to 50% critical damage. Passive is independent action A, so she gets a lot of extra crit damage. And she has a beast shape passive, which combos madness enhancement and presence concealment, so her star generation is increased, but also her buster damage is increased. She's not really flashy, but she's a solid quick crit berserker, and because of that NP seal, she is very handy for certain battles and can slap really, really hard if you get her going.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite, Lancelot's, Berserker Lancelot's, Scotty looping potential, but the quick support caster is coming out soon, and she will slot into there pretty good because she is all about crits and NP. Next up, let's talk about the Golem Master himself, Avicebron, Solomon Ibn Gabriel, though we're never going to call him that because that's just going to be very confusing. So, among 3-star casters, his attack is actually quite low, but his HP in turn is quite high. Of course, he is a caster, so he has quick arts buster deck, with the old average NP gain and, hit counts. Pretty normal stuff for a 3-star caster. So his NP is a very typical buster AoE, but it does boost team NP gain, which is pretty cool. I think it's a pretty decent percentage as well. So his first skill is Numerology, that gives him 3 turns of 10 to 30% arts buster up, which is good because he has a caster deck but a buster NP. That's a problem a lot of casters have. And also Emiya's have. Poor Emiya. I shouldn't say poor. That boy's an NP5. He's fine. He's fine. You're fine, buddy. But yeah, when you have a caster deck but an offensive buster NP, it's kind of a pain in the butt. So he stimulates both cards for a few turns. His second skill is everybody's favorite, Rapid Casting. While it does have a 8-turn cooldown at its lowest, it is a 55 to 80% NP battery instantly, which is great. If you've ever, used Hans, Medea, Kirky, any of those Rapid Casting fools. Does Billy Shakes have a Rapid Casting? He might. Or is
I don't
that
think
his...
so.
No, I think it's his bonus skill gives him some NP battery, but not a lot. But yeah, it's, Paracelsus has it. Or Kelsus, I think. Anyway, Rapid Casting is great. It's great. Just instant 55% battery without having to put anything in it, that's great. His final skill is the Fig of Tranquility. It puts a 5-turn timer on Avicebron. If he is defeated during this time, all remaining allies get 2 hits of Invincible, and get 1 to 2k HP back, which is pretty handy. It's like, if you know he's going to go down, or heck, if you're arranging that he's going to go down, if you're going to do some damage control or something, you can really turn that into a buff. I expect that's going to get a little memey when Chen Gong comes out in a year and a half, because you can control who he blows up with his NP. So you could totally prime that so that Avicebron blows up the first wave of enemies, and then immediately you tap over and have him drop Tranquil Fig and buff your team. So it's pretty brutal. He has passive Territory Creation B and Item Creation B, a solid, simple AoE free-to-play kit. You probably already own a Babbager Mephisto, but consider Avicebron among them, if only for his ludicrous battery potential, right?
Yeah.
Because Mephisto and Babbage are very early units, and they're a little fucky. I don't know the last time I used my Babbage, but I was looking at his skill kit the other day when I was writing this, and I was like, man, you're weird, bud. He doesn't have a flat battery, but he's got a skill concentration which increases his NP gain and his star gather, and then he's got a pretty potent attack buff, but also that's his invincible. So it's like, man, you're just doing all the classic early FGO problems, putting your hard defenses on your damage attacks, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Avicebron has a solid, focused skill set. Next, let's talk about the man in gray, Antonio Salieri. He is our first 3-star Avenger. Anger doesn't count, he's in a weird place. But for his rarity, Salieri has a pretty decent attack, but his HP is even less than Angra. So he's like many Avengers, he's a little bit squishy. Watch out. Quick Arts Buster deck. So he's got low hit counts, which means higher NP gen. His NP is an AoE Arts. It lowers the enemy's Arts resistance, but also lowers your party's star gen for 3 turns by 20%. Because Avengers, I guess. Still, that whole lowering art resistance thing will work really great with certain spam teams. First skill is Innocent Monsters EX. It gives you 6 to 12 stars per turn, and increases his critical strength by 20 to 30% for 3 hits. This is a theme. So, similarly, Lamenting Exterior gives you 20 to 30% arts effectiveness for 3 hits. And Wildfire gives you 20 to 30% defense down on one enemy for 3 hits. All of them have a minimum 5-turn cooldown, so he will work like a clock. And then, so for NP gen stuff, he has Self-Restoration C, so he gains like 3.3 NP per turn, and has Avenger, so he gets more NP defensively, and then has Oblivion Correction B for more crits. He's kind of in a weird niche with his, like, everything only procs for 3 hits, but a fun guy. Plus, he's so red.
He's so red.
That's my avatar right now. Right now, I'm the man in red on our server. With the special status caption, "Get out of my fucking timeline." What's the matter?
No. I'm just thinking about memes.
Ah, memes. The DNA of the soul.
Clearly.
Okay, let's talk about new servant deets. In quick. Only not because one of them is long, but that's because they have a lot of shit. So, the Dioscuri, the Gemini twins, who are 2 people. I'm 2 guys now. I will refer to them as they, because there's literally 2 of them. So, they are our first single-target Arts Saber permanent as an SSR. The first permanent single-target SSR Saber, period. Which is a lot. The game has been out almost 5 years, and this is where we are. And they didn't pull any punches. The Dioscuri are effectively 2 servants in one package. So Pollux, or Polydeuces, is the girl twin, and she is a saber. She has a sword. I'm still a little bit confused by that, because Jason says that she was good at boxing, but whatever. Sword, I guess. Castor, the boy child, is actually an Avenger. And you will be surprised, the Dioscuri are voiced by, I think they're even real-life twins, but they're definitely real-life siblings.
The real-life siblings, apparently they've been pigeon-footed into playing a lot of
twin roles.
Incestuous and incestuous twin roles, too.
Well,
Crazy.
welcome to anime, sadly.
Yeah.
But still, that you may be surprised when Castor speaks. He has a very deep voice, considering that they are literally the half-identical twin thing, where, like, the only difference is that I guess one of them is a girl and she has longer hair, basically. Like, that's the only appearance difference they have. Sorry, we were discussing some stuff. But, so that's why, is because they actually got an actual brother-sister team to do their lines. So I wrote just in my notes, insert lore here. So the reason why Castor is an Avenger is because in the oldest stories, the Dioscuri were both demigods. It was only in later tellings that Castor was specifically said to be the mortal twin, whereas Pollux was the half-divine one. Which means that because of the way fate works, his divinity was actually degraded, and now he's a tiny bit angry. So as a character, it seems like they kind of play the Castor is the sullen, angry twin, and Pollux is kind of the like, no, it's fine, master, it's fine. Don't listen to my brother. He's a big dumb idiot. Don't listen to him. I think his intro line is he literally tells you to die. He's like, go die. And I don't know what Pollux says, but she's probably like, shush. Just puts all her hands and also his hands over his face and just shush. I've never had a twin, but I have siblings, so I know how this works. As such, they have a wide array of passives. So they have all the normal Avenger ones. That's Avenger, self-respiration mana, and Oblivion Correction. Crazy. Then they have basically all the normal Saber-type bullshit. Magic Resistance A, Riding B, and Madness Enhancement B-. Not sure where that comes in. Maybe that's just because Castor is so angry. Who knows? So that's 6. And then they round it out for the 7th with a special divinity, which also increases their star and NP gen.
Oh, Jesus. Wait. So they get increased NP gen and they have the passive,
Yes, they passively generate 3% NP per turn. Their star gen is increased by 5% flat. Their NP gen is increased by 5% flat. Their quick cards are better. Their buster cards are better. And their crits are better. They also have, like, a lot of debuff resistance. So, it's pretty crazy.
That's a lot.
again, this is technically a free unit, so I don't think we should be throwing stones at Delightworks putting a lot of effort in here, but also, holy shit. It's kind of offset by the fact that they have a slightly unusual deck for a Saber. They are QQAB, or AAB, with pretty median attack and high HP. Relatively high HP. Their attack is not low by any means. They're only like a couple hundred lower than, I think, Musashi. But they're still middle of the pack, as it turns out. They have high hit counts, so their native NP gain is pretty moderate normally. But obviously they have a few ways around that. So the NP itself is a single target arts, which ignores invincibility, pierces defenses, and lowers the target's quick and arts resistance for 3 turns. It's only like 10%, but still. That's a pretty big deal. I've noticed this lately, that Sabers don't have a lot of good ways to deal with hard defenses. It's mostly just Musashi, and is there anybody else? There's a couple of Sabers with sure hit, but there aren't a lot of pierce invul Sabers. So this is a pretty good effect for Sabers. Also, you may notice a theme. It's overcharge based, but their resistance down only starts at 10%. A lot of their percentages are pretty mild, all things considered, which again is, think, part of the balancing scheme.
Yeah.
So their first skill is the only one I think that is it's completely batshit crazy. Okay, follow me on this, Lucky. It gives them a buff for 3 turns, which it gives you a free 5 to 10 NP% on quick cards. And 5 to 10 stars automatically generated on arts cards.
Oh.
So if you hit with a quick card, you get free automatic NP gain. If you hit with an arts card, you get free automatic star gen. Which, by the way, this is interesting. Quick already has NP gen. Arts has no star gen. So you could do some very interesting things with this.
So they're blending basically the arts and quick effects.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
With a QQAAB servant with an arts NP. So it's pretty crazy. You can do a lot of stuff, a lot of NP spam, and a lot of crit generation.
Okay.
So second skill kind of hybridizes charisma and tactics. It's a team-wide 1-turn 10 to 15% attack and NP up buff. That's pretty small, all things considered, but still it is technically team support. More importantly, though, it does give the team a one-time free pass on debuff immunity. So you get a one-time of debuff immunity for like 3 turns. That's pretty handy.
Always handy.
Final skill is Mana Burst Light. This gives them 3 turns of 10 to 20% quick and arts buff, and a 1 turn of evade. So, on the one hand, good that it's 3 turns, but also it's your evade on your NP steroid. That's always a little rough sometimes.
Well, I always just think of it as multi-purpose. What do I need right now? Do I need fucking a buff, or do I need to get the fuck out of dodge?
And while the percentages are low, it's still 3 turns. So all in all, the Dioscuri do what you want out of an arts and a quick servant. They are designed to last multiple turns. They have all the generation of NP and stars you need to crit or to NP spam, depending on what you're doing. And they have a lot of fun extras in there.
They seem they've really worked on blending, making basically a dual type servant work.
Yes, which I think is great design because they are literally 2. You can't summon them separately, so they've literally 2 servants in one Saint Graph. They are very complex and interesting. I don't think their numbers are super impressive. They're not huge, but they do a lot of stuff.
Well, like, here's the thing, like, forgive me if I'm mistaken, because I could be, but I think this is like the Lightworks first real effort in making a dual type servant that actually works. We've had like a bunch of servants that can do like buff, like both like Buster quick, but nothing that necessarily overlaps them.
And we have a couple of servants who do. Well, we just mentioned Avicebron. Like he buffs Arts Buster for 3 turns, but that's because he has a Buster NP, but also his only cards are Arts cards, basically. Right?
Yeah.
This is actually like you have 2 each of Quick and Arts. You can actually make that work. Because
you've actually blended them together.
Yeah, if you do like AQQ with that first skill running, you're gonna get a shitload of NP or AAQ. And if you do AAQ the other way, you'll also get a shitload of stars. It's very, very interesting. I almost think Dioscuri want a solo, because the only thing that's gonna get in your way is that you're not gonna get their cards when you pull a command hand, right? Because their best effect only procs on using their own cards.
Mm-hmm.
So But yeah, they're gonna slot into a lot of supports. Like, you could put both Tomo and Scotty on here and just be like, go nuts. But you could easily do either or you could do Waver. You could probably make Merlin work, even though they only have one Buster card. Like, they're because they are so multifaceted, they are very support neutral, which I think is also another good quality, because like you said, this is our first permanent single target saber. From now on, people who pick up the game and start playing are possibly going to pick this up as their original big single target unit. And some of them, even then, if you haven't got any limiteds, like, my internet freak out for a second there?
Yeah, you're roboting a little bit. It doesn't seem too bad.
It was Google Drive just blurped for a second. I think it came back. But if you have been playing for a little bit and you still don't have your limited single target saber, which, hey, I don't. I have 2 out of 3 permanent AoE sabers, but I haven't been super lucky on the saber front. So, I mean, not with that anyway. I got Saber Lancelot pretty easily. Everybody talks about him like he's a pocket 5-star, so he's great, but still, right? You may not have a single target saber of this rarity, period, so it's good that they can slot into a lot of teams or even slot solo.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Caenis. She, he, they. So for me, I'm just going to use she because the implication seems to be that Caenis is definitely a lady now, but also it's ambiguous. So this is one of the situations where I don't fucking know, whatever works for you.
Hey.
I'll just say she because that's easier on my brain because hey, you have a lady voice and you have boobs and you're really naked. Well, you're not really, really naked, but you get a little bit naked in Ascension. Her first Ascension is actually quite modest, other than the fact that, like all Lancers, it's painted on.
It's so weird. Like, I'm so used to seeing Caenis, and apparently what her second Ascension. Now that I saw her first, I'm like, I'm a little underwhelmed here. It's
almost a little drab, a little demure.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like, man, Ku, you really set a trend, buddy. Like, right? You can't say it's just a female fan service thing because the first one to do this was Ku, the blue spearman himself.
Let's see.
In his
also,
bright blue bodysuit.
Hecking Deerma does it too.
Yeah. Deerma, Skahak, obviously. Somebody just mentioned their name. Liangyu. Liang. She also has the white body stocking look. Also, no, we're asking about Arts Quick Steroid. Odysseus does that, actually. He does Team Arts Quick, because he's a cool boy. He's cunning. But yeah, so Caenis, she is just a much more straightforward beat stick, which makes perfect sense. Caenis lives to hit people. Oh, sorry. Getting slightly distracted by people posting stuff in different channels. I'm like, wait, is that somebody posting something in Patreon chat? No.
Sorry, I'm totally distracted by Discord, too, and people taking shots at Kotaku.
People do that a lot, but it's Kotaku's own fault. They do some real journalism over there, but also they do a lot of weird, dumb clickbait articles. I guess that's just sometimes how you live. Where was I? Okay. So, Caenis, her attack and HP are in the same league as other big story-locked SR Lancers, so like Li Shuwen and Lancer Alter, who are quite high on that scale.
Yeah!
She comfortably fits among them. Quick, Arts Buster, a Lancer typical deck. Has 3 hit counts all around, so high NP gen. Though she has like 5 extras, so if you do like an AQQ chain, you'll probably get a decent amount of NP. Speaking of which, her Noble Phantasm is a very basic AoE buster. It grants her the usual increased NP strength and a 50% critical strength for 3 turns. Interesting. That includes the NP up buff, by the way. Both of which proc first. So if you can actually get her to loop around in 3 turns, you will continue to make that NP stronger. So her first skill is Monstrous Strength B+, for a 20 to 40% pure attack buff for 2 turns.
That's always solid.
Yeah. Her second skill is weird. So it's translated roughly like Halberd of Pillaging. By the way, in case you were wondering if that's just like a Lostbelt thing, no, I think Caenis is just an asshole. She's neutral evil. She's just kind of a dickhead. But so this gives her 2 on-hit effects for 3 attacks. The first is she gets 10 to 20% attack for 1 turn, which procs first, by the way, so it's before you actually make the attack, she gets the attack buff. And then the enemy who is hit gets 10% attack down for 1 turn. So this means if you do like a chain, and I'm also pretty sure it works on her NP, you can get like 30% attack on that last turn. But also because it's per hit, they get spaced out depending on when she actually goes. her final skill is her big defensive move. She gets 3 attacks worth of 1,000 to 3,000 damage cut. Those are big max damage cut numbers. And a 1k to 3k guts 1 time for 3 turns. So, she will, at max level, absorb 9,000 points of damage across 3 hits, and then has a guts for 3k HP if she actually goes down. It's a pretty big fire off. And then, so, passives, she has Magic Resistance C. She has Madness Enhancement EX. That's right, this is, I think, our first Berserker with non-Berserker with an EX Madness Enhancement. Assuming these are all reported correctly, but it's been a couple days, so I think they're right.
Mm-hmm.
And that means her busters hit really hard. EX is like 12%, I think. It's big. It's huge. And then she has a special divinity, Lucky joked about it earlier. So not only does she get flat damage bonus, but she also gets 8% arts increase. Between her and the Dioscuri, I see that Delightworks is really playing around with handing out passives, right? It's always been a little weird because they called them class skills. Really, they're just the passive skills of the servants, because Divinity's never been a class skill. That's always been a personal skill. Though, depending on the class, Charisma could be seen as a class skill. I think Savers are supposed to get free ranks in that, etc. Almost all the active skills that, Jean has are because she's a ruler, for instance, stuff like that. It seems like Delightworks is really starting to just be like, fuck it, this unit needs more buster damage, we'll just give them Madness Enhancement, you know?
Yeah. Stats now, explanation later.
And I'm sure that when they write this Matt's profile in the year 2025, no, I'm not going to stop joking about that. I think we're only up to Lostbelt 2 in FGO materials terms, and we're up to 5 Lostbelts, so it'll be a while. Yep. I'm assuming that, you used her Final Ascension art in the thumbnail. She looks a little maybe slightly 200% mad.
Yeah.
She's a little pissed off, so I could believe it easily. Her effects are pretty simple. She just has a lot of raw attack buffs, but powerful. You will find her a very solid damage-dealing Lancer who takes care of her own buffs for the most part, so she'll be pretty easy to support. There are all kinds of other units you could slaughter with. You could throw her in with Liz, for instance. I'm pretty sure because she's genderless in profile, she can get both male and female benefits, hopefully. So that means Liz's Sadistic Charisma should proc. Stuff like that. And just give her more attack, because... So, I think it's Kentoki who has Monster Strength A, which is 50% straight-up attack for 2 turns. Caenis' is only 40%, but still, pure attack is great. That's just extra damage. So, yeah, Caenis slaps pretty hard. Yeah, so, yeah, it's only 1 turn, too. They're mentioning that Kyo Lancer has EX, but that's the same as she has as a Berserker anyway, so... Yeah. They don't usually switch up your passives too much. I think Raiko Lancer actually goes down, but that makes sense, right? Yeah, that's a lore thing. She gets a little less crazy.
Yeah, it's her Berserker form that's maximum Mama energy, and then Lancer form is more...
Slightly more serious, and if we ever got Saber would be the most serious, which is supposed to be pretty dangerous.
Honestly, it might go back up to Madness Enhancement EX, fuck. Just in a different way.
But yeah, I think Tomoe has a little bit of Madness Enhancement, but not a lot, because that's basically... They've basically fluffed it. That's how Oni-kind blood works. If you're part Oni, you're a little bit crazy, so you do Buster better.
Mm-hmm.
And they've done a lot of different... theoretically, any servant could have Madness Enhancement, and any servant could be a Berserker if you give them Madness Enhancement kind of thing, right? I think that's how that's supposed to work originally, because Madness Enhancement is a thing that when you summon the servant, you choose to apply. So honestly, there are a lot of servants who could you could just tuck a little bit of in there, and it would be fine. We will see if there's any future. I don't think Caenis' profile has been translated yet, so I don't know if there's any commentary in-game on her Madness Enhancement. But yeah, she slaps, and like I said, they really seem to be angling for broadening out passives so servants get the buffs they need on their own. I think, actually, I was looking through I think I made this comment on an old voice video discussing about power creep. Technically, I do think some of these new units do quote-unquote power creep older units, but that's because, unfortunately, a lot of our old units are poorly designed. They are not designed well. Look at Launch Emiya, he had problems.
How many rank ups has Emiya gone through?
let's see. He has an interlude to improve his NP, and then he has 2 rank ups for 2 of his skills.
Yeah.
The only thing he didn't need fixed was Eye of the Mind, because that just works. But Vanilla Clairvoyance is not great, and Vanilla Magecraft did not help him at all, because, well, he really needed an NP steroid. Anyway.
So Kara got 3 rank ups. Crazy.
I'll say this, like, I do a lot of amateur game design. So even in my own time, where it's just me and my immediate circle of friends, and whether it's a whole game mechanic or just like homebrewing stuff for a pre-existing game, you find this a lot. You have to find your groove. You really have to find the mechanics. Like, there have been so many times when I've been writing a rule or something, or been working on something, and lucky or some of the other group is kind of going to be like, "Hey, this sucks. Why does it work this way?" And I'm just like, "You're right, it does suck. Let me fix that." And
Ta-da!
With like tabletop homebrew, that's really easy. I just write some new notes. With app game design, that can be harder because you have to like play test and implement and all that stuff. Coding, you have to find a good place to insert it. Delightworks has been doing pretty good about just cramming in extra, like the Apocrypha rerun just came with 3 rank ups, which was pretty good. In case you forgot, Vlad, Amakusa, and Mordred got rank ups in there.
Mm-hmm.
So they have been good about trying to broaden out the possibility and been really generous with increasing old servants. Like, take a look at like everybody was like, "Oh man, King Hassan's buff is crazy." Or Raiko actually got buffed because Arjuna Alter came out and he was pure numbers, technically the superior mechanical choice like every time. So they were like, well, let's just make Raiko better.
Mm-hmm.
So they do a lot of these little things to make units different and distinct. So I don't know. It's always been weird to me when people are like, power creep! And they point a shaking finger, and I'm like, yeah, but old shit sucked. I don't understand the mentality, right? Do you want all your new shit to suck as much as your old shit did? Like, why are you calling power creep shenanigans? Well, yeah, some of the old stuff is still limited, but that's why they buff old units. Like, they give you a free upgrade to your Raiko. Yeah! Yeah, John does need some rank ups. A couple of her skills. The problem is Jean, especially after they did in fact buff her NP, which is already really good, and then they made it better. Jean really doesn't need her skills at all, is the thing.
Yeah.
Her NP is phenomenally good. Except when enemies use Pierce Invul, but they don't do that gimmick a lot. It just sucks when they do. I'm looking at you, weird Skytree.
I mean, occasionally when I'm actually fighting servants, I'll be like, boom, true name relevation, but I think that's it.
Yeah, the stud is useful, but not perfect, because not all bosses count.
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess they could do like they did with Amakusa, and despite the fact that her revelation is perfectly functional, they could just make it better. Give her more stars and like give her like arts buff or something.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing with revelation is people don't usually go to John stars because she's not intended to be a damage dealer, so
true.
Yeah.
I personally use it just because, hey, free stars.
Free stars, yo! Crits are good!
But yeah, so that's us, chattering about game design. Oh, also though, hey, if you think, man, the Dioscuri are really bullshit, I don't want to fight them as a boss. Well, luckily, if you've been playing for a while, or hopefully they reintroduce her, they are a saber who is divine and riding.
Oh, your Nobu is gonna wreck.
Yeah, so keep that in mind. And hopefully they do something to bring Nobu back for some of the newer players. Like, obviously a lot of people who have started playing JP recently can't get a Nobu back. But for us, I'm ready. I'm ready in 2 years. I'll be there.
Oh, well, as I said, everyone can hope that in the future updates they'll start adding more welfares to the FP gacha.
Yes, they have started doing stuff like that. It's just, obviously, especially with how chunky this update was, it feels like the Lightworks is clearly spinning a lot of plates, And obviously right now we are in a weird time, too, which is actually, Japan has recently been taking it a little more seriously, though. They declared national emergency and stuff like that. So, I know that in both JP and NA they have mentioned that due to COVID, customer support will be slower on FGO. So there's definitely, I think, some concern about how fast they can get some work done, but also just, wow, it seems like Lostbelt 5 was just a really big project. And then on top of that, they've been throwing out animation updates, throwing out upgrades, They're still trying to keeping up. And hopefully they can get a few more of these experimental systems off the ground.
Let's see, how many months we got till anniversary? 3?
JP's anniversary is late July, I believe.
Yeah, so we got 3.5 months.
Yes, and as of this moment, they are still on for their big live event in the Tokyo Dome.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if that persists, but yeah. So that'll be 5 years of FGO. Whatever it is, it's going to be huge. Like I expect they're gonna do some major showstoppers because holy shit, 5 years.
Yeah, shit. Even Grand Blue Fantasy doesn't it's also been going a long ass time. They don't do major stuff like this. I mean, I don't know. I will say Grand Blue Fantasy is awesome. Basically, during their anniversary, they just give you a fuck ton of free.
Yeah, JP does that now too, but I don't think it's as generous because the gacha system isn't quite as good.
Yeah, how much quartz did they give out? How much quartz did they give out?
Oh boy, okay, I'm gonna look it up. Anniversary 4. It was a lot.
It was a lot.
So is it? It's gonna be a little awkward to search for, but that's memorial quests. There we go. Yeah. To reiterate, Axe keeps asking. I think they could make a limited permanent. They cannot. If they did not say that a unit becomes permanent later, they can't do that. That's a legal obligation thing. There's legal precedent with lawsuits. They are not allowed to do that, or they will be legally liable. Yeah,
that's devaluing the product.
So they can't, for instance, Musashi, really big in story. Because she was limited at start, they cannot make her permanent.
Mm-hmm.
At least not on a permanent banner basis. I don't know if they could do other things, if they could figure out a system to have, this is something that Azure Lane does occasionally. They do kind of a pick your own rate up.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing they could possibly do, every month you could, pick your own limited to come onto a rate up or something with, tokens or something.
Well, Azure Lane doesn't exactly have the same problem because you don't buy, well, yeah, because you don't, you can, but Wisdom Cubes are not a premium currency directly. No, yeah, you can earn Wisdom Cubes quite a decent rate on their own.
And in fact, we'll talk about it probably tomorrow, but they have, Azure Lane did just recently do an update where they backported in a whole shitload of previously event-limited ships.
Oh, yeah.
But with FGO and FGO being based in Japan, they do have this problem of there have been lawsuits with other games.
Grand Blue Fantasy, actually.
Was it GB? Yeah, I bet it was.
Yeah.
So, let's see. I'm scrolling through the list of stuff, because there's a bunch of anniversary. Let's see. So, for the login bonus, they gave you 10 tickets. They added Lostbelt clear missions to master missions. So you got 30 quartz if you were cleared through Lostbelt 3. And then they did a shitload of backporting so that if you completed free quests in the main story, you got a shitload. If you cleared up to 180, that's 10, so that's 180 quartz.
Jeez.
I don't think they did. They probably did something for the stream or something, but I don't see it in this list. But they gave you 200 quartz through rewards if you were playing constantly. And even if you weren't, you would eventually get them all, you know?
Yeah.
That was also when they made it not a 10 roll, but an 11 roll. If you spend 30 Saint Quartz, you get an extra card, basically. Yeah, that's 4th. We were talking about 4th. Because we're talking about what the last one was. Not upcoming for us in English.
Oh, no, I think we're still, for our third, we're still getting a fuck ton of quartz.
Oh, no, because 3rd should be, you should get a bunch of quartz for every Epic of Remnant you've cleared. Let me actually look at it. Because 3rd anniversary was...
is up to level 53 now?
We get, we get traveling outfits. That's right. Those bastards.
Shake Fist? That's what I need. I need fucking, anniversary CEs put into...
something.
the friend... Yeah, the friend point gotcha. Fuck, do it.
Okay, so you still got 10 summon tickets for a login bonus. Epic of Remnant went to permanent.
That is a crime.
Oh, that's right. They did the login bonus thing, which was, every 50-day login now gets you 30 Saint Quartz instead of 20, and it was retroactive. So if you had over 1,050 logins on that day, you got 200 Saint Quartz flat out.
Jeez, I'm gonna be a little bit behind on that because I've missed the days, but I'm still I've still passed 1,000 days.
Yeah, we're still gonna get a lot of those.
Jeez.
But yeah, so there's a lot of big stuff they usually do at these infusions.
Oh man, that's gonna be just in time for fucking Scotty. Fuck.
Yes, that's gonna be your Scotty present. Plus the fact that they'll probably do we did a panel or something, so you get 30 quartz or whatever. And
you're gonna have your
or
GSSR around there. It's gonna be a good time.
And GSSR should be only half price. It should only be 15 SQ.
Oh,
it still has to be paid, but it'll be halved. So that's great. That's when they started doing that too. So, yeah, our anniversary should look really swag.
Swag!
And so should a lot of other ones.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what Japan does. But ours will be... Well, so usually they put it off a little bit because they would be going to a panel or something. I don't know if they will be, but they will still probably delay it a little bit just to make sure that they Lostbelt 2 gets out in time. Because, remember, for GSSR reasons, and also because Scotty is the anniversary servant, thanks to Lightworks, they can't do anniversary stuff until Lostbelt 2 comes out, so...
I don't know. Well, let's see here. We got Go West going on right now. Then we should have...
Yes, Go West should dovetail into at least the pre-campaign of Apocrypha.
The Apocrypha?
Yeah, Apocrypha should have a pre-release campaign where they bring back Semiramis and Amakusa on some banners and stuff.
And then we should probably have... don't we have the Guda Guda rerun? And then the new Guda Guda...
Yeah. Hold on, I'm trying to load the event list. I'll see if I can catch up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Ivan's really good. A lot of people, like I said, talked about how Ivan was crazy bullshit when he came out, and then he's just had no rate up, so I don't think anybody's really bothered to talk about him, especially since Scotty did come out, and she is such a meta shaker. Not that people...
Well, remember, Scotty was the big head turner because she basically completely overhauled how Quick worked.
Right, combined with the fact that about that time they did a lot of buffs to, like, Dante's Coup, other people. Like, they buffed a lot of Quick servants to do a lot of extra stuff. Like, Coup will get his NP upgraded so he actually gets sure hit on it, which when you think about it, you're just like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. Why didn't they do that from launch? But they just didn't.
Yeah.
Because fucking nobody did sure hit at launch. I think just Sasaki Kojiro had a sure hit skill. Oh boy, this event list is laggy. Let me see if I can get a different wiki to load. It's laggy for me. It is not loading all the way. And who knows? Maybe it's like...
Oh, you're roboting a little bit, so your internet's probably hiccuping.
Yeah, it's probably being slow. Internet stuff is very weird. I literally could not stream Tuesday. Like, literally, I couldn't get my computer to connect to YouTube. Let's see if I can get an event list to load. Editing will take care of all this stuff.
Yeah, I know. Something about Florida right now. Internet go not do good. Or it could just be the fact that now that Lucky's got his new computer, for those of you who don't know, Lucky did get a new computer, and he had a near panic attack about it because he was afraid it was just going to break randomly, because that's what happens when you get shiny new things. Something horrible just happens to them immediately. But no, it's been working. I think actually the weirdest thing is when I was inside its guts, I accidentally disconnected its LEDs, because it's one, if you go on Amazon and you look at the iBuy power computers, it has like these rainbow lights in them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's actually a thing. They actually work.
Yeah, I don't know why, but that's apparently a trend with that stuff.
Yeah, but I found out that the way that they're hooked up is completely flimsy, and they can just fall out, rip fucking easily. So I had to go in there and fix it a bit.
We already did our thousandth day campaign, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because for JP that would happen this month. But so let's see. I'm in there now. We've got the Apocrypha pre-collab, and the Apocrypha event will start. Wasn't the Go? I think the Go West rerun in Japan was extended because they had like long maintenance or bugs or something. Because they actually their dates overlap a little. Mm-hmm. But let's see, we've got Apocrypha this month. That'll probably be starting like 420 exactly, which is like a week early. There should be an interlude campaign coming in next month. We got Murder the Kogetsu-kan, which is just like a weak little thing. We do have the Guda Guda rerun. Well, actually, hold on. Let me double check how long Apocrypha should run. I think it's 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Let me calendar. So, assuming it starts if it was when did it start? The 26th, and it ran until the 17th. Oh, that's like 4 weeks. Jeez, that must have been extended. Did something break in the original run of Apocrypha?
Yeah, there was. There was a big crash, and they had to. They had to not delay, but they had to extend it, if I remember correctly.
Okay, so that's probably why it's probably only supposed to be like maybe 3 weeks because there's raids and stuff. Not like 4 weeks because it went from the 26th until the 17th, which is basically a month. So we will probably only go from like let's estimate like the 20th to maybe the 4th or the 11th or 10th or something.
Was that the big CE deleting bug they had?
No, that was us. We had that.
That was
after London, I think.
I'm trying to remember what it was, but yeah, there was something that I remember happened in
I think
JP
it just broke
that-
because everybody was hitting the raids really hard because the Apocrypha raids are really good for materials drops.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
So people just broke them.
Oh, I wonder if we're going to get a better version then.
Hopefully, though I think they still had some glitches in the rerun. But May should be Guda Meiji Restoration rerun.
Yeah!
Murder of the Kogetsukan, which I think that's just quests. Is there a Sherlock banner with that or something? Oh, there is a banner with Sherlock and Bedivere. Damn. And Jaguar.
Oh no.
Fuck.
Oh
It's
no.
a dangerous banner.
Dangerous. Sound the alarms.
If you wait a couple days, you can get a raid up that's got a mix of Sherlock, Ian King, Bedivere, and Jaguar Man on it.
Oh no.
But you want to make sure you get that before the next day, because the next day is a raid up with Stheno, Eurelia, and Mephistopheles.
Oh, that's dangerous in the other way.
Yeah, they got some rough raid up combos in here. But yeah, so that does actually have a Sherlock banner. Ooh, well, I'll have to at least throw some tickets at that. Probably monthly tickets. Oh, but am I going to use monthly tickets for like Chiron and Achilles? Damn me. Damn my eyes. We'll get whatever our equivalent to 13 million downloads is in. I'm going to skip that because I already have my Rider Mordred, and I don't need any more NP on my Tama Lancer. Thanks. But there will be that Rando Okita banner, Hunting Quests 4, and then in Japan, the only things that happened in June were they did an Extella Link release commemoration, which we're just going to completely skip because Extella Link already came out, and I think they already gave us the stuff.
Yeah, probably.
So they might. Oops, that's the wrong direction to take that. They might squish some stuff up into there. Let's see what actually happens. There's the Okita banner late in May. There's the Guda rerun late in May. But if you scooch everything up at least a week, there's probably because what they'll probably do is they'll probably push back the Dead Heat Summer Race rerun because that was late June in JP. So so we'll probably do Guda Imperial Capital, the new Guda event, and then we'll do Lostbelt 2, and then we'll do Anniversary, and then we'll do the Summer rerun, and then we'll do Real Summer. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay, there's your clairvoyance for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And the video is now over an hour and a half long.
Yay! We extended.
So we can probably wrap up and go home.
Cool.
Maybe we can find some dinner. Briefly, I will mention the Patreon poll is still open for another few days. What is a Lostbelt is pretty soundly winning.
Solid.
I expect, though, after 5, next month, What is a Divine Spirit will probably pop up to the top of the list. If you have any other further questions you want asked on Teach Me Omega Sensei, be sure to let me know.
Okay.
Other than that, yeah, I think so. Let's see. Next week, I mean, we'll discuss the rerun, but I don't think we'll have much to say.
Probably not.
There will presumably be an Olympus Part 2 banner, probably?
I mean, that's the usual fare for story banners, and Shoot Summons event and some other things. And especially with, like, as big a cast as they have, there's probably going to be an Event 2 banner.
Yeah, they could do the thing like they did with Part 5 and just put old servants on it, but I think they got 1 or 2 new ones maybe in their pocket they could pull out. We'll see.
I bet they're gonna have put Europa back on there. I just have a feeling.
They could. She is permanent, but she's only had that one raid up, and it has been 4 months? Yeah, it's been 4 months.
Yeah, I feel them. So
Heck,
they'll probably do that.
Guess what, guys? If you missed Semiramis at Valentine's, she's gonna get another raid up for the APOC collab pre-run. So that I think is one of the shortest turnaround times for a limited servant to have a raid up. Like, it's literally just been 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
But they could do Europa. I think she actually appears in Lostbelt 5 Part 2. She wasn't in the first part, which was funny.
Mm-hmm.
They could give Odysseus another raid up, since he came out later. Who knows? We'll see what they do next week. And if they have any plans for what comes next. We should be getting close to that, whatever's going on with that Requiem collab. I don't know if they're ready to start teasing details, but they announced that's going to happen.
Have they announced another stream at all?
No, probably not. I didn't actually watch the stream. They did say it was limited. It was just Aniplex staff. It
was a pretty funny stream, honestly. Just because of the fact that they kept demonstrating how far apart they were. It's where we have the image of our Lord Savior Kana.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't watch the stream originally because it took place at
it started like 3:20 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah, for Eastern it was like 6:20.
Ah shit! I didn't pop my fucking buffs. God damn it! No, Bunyan!
And if you're talking about weeks between, I don't think there'll be any I don't think, because this is NA, there will be any dead weeks until Anniversary. Just because they
I
can't
fucked
afford
up
it. They, Lostbelt 2 has a pre-release campaign and a regular Summon Banner campaign, and then immediately dovetails into Anniversary. There's like a Napoleon banner and a Get Ready for Lostbelt 2 campaign. That'll probably be a week of time where nothing else happens, or maybe the hunting quest will happen there. Then there'll be Lostbelt 2's story release, which will be Sigurd, Brynn, Valkyrie. So, they released a new limited servant Sigurd. They brought Brynn back and they introduced new permanent Valkyrie. And then immediately after that was Anniversary 3, which the special banner servant is Scotty. So, crazy pants time. At least you'll get shitloads of quartz.
Shitloads of quartz.
And who knows what else they'll scoot up for us, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, let's go ahead and wrap up. I think we covered everything. Just keep your eye out for FGO news, and we'll be sure to there to give you some thoughts.
And feelings.
Oh, lots of feelings. We're all about the feelings down here.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess then the only thing to do then is to do the outro. Hi, if you watch this video on YouTube, be sure to give it a like if you liked it. If you have any comments, leave it in the comment section down below. Like I said, if you really want to discuss spoilers, you should hit up our Discord. That link is in the description and on our channel page, as always. And of course, if you're new here and haven't already, please subscribe to our channel so you can always get our latest videos. Expect I'm probably going to at least shoot Wanted Achilles next week. I'm going to have some fun with that one. But keep an eye out for future videos. We were a little slow this week in video release, but expect it to ramp up a little bit. We got some other couple of things to come out. So make sure to subscribe, and also make sure to hit that bell for notifications so you always know when we post a new video or when we stream when we're able. Lucky actually got a stream to stay up. Yay!
Yay! I still don't know what the magical process was, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah. And
I'll talk about it at length tomorrow.
I say this with I'll try and stream again next week. If not, just hop into Discord. We just had a Jackbox night with the Discord babies, which was pretty funny, pretty fun. And we do that a lot lately with our social distancing. We do a lot of hanging out at night and playing Jackbox. But yeah, and of course, like I said, the friend of the show, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can access episodes early in audio format for as little as $1 a month, and it really helps us out. I'm stonkered. We got like 53 patrons. I've had to go through the revamping the credits page a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Thanks you so much for your support, guys.
Yeah!
It really helps us out, and it starts as low as $1 a month, and you can get other goodies at higher levels, like listening to the show live, voting and teaching Mega Sensei topics, all kinds of stuff.
Super appreciate.
All right, so that's that. Next, stay tuned later for What's Up, our podcast about whatever, and come back next week for more Let's Talk FGO. All right, let's do some kind of something bomb out of here.
I can't think of one.
Lightning bomb.